Louisville Metro Police Department is investigating after a violent day in Jefferson County. Hello, everyone. I'm Haley Minogue again tonight for Doug Profit. 3 separate shootings across the city leave one person dead and another injured. WHAS11 night teams Taylor Woods and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie spoke to community members about the shootings.
Yellow crime scene tape surrounding North 24th and Bank Street. Around 2:30 this afternoon, Louisville Metro Police crime interdiction detectives were trying to arrest a known homicide suspect, Shenandoah Carmen. Police sources tell us his brother, James Braden Carmen, fired multiple shots at detectives. No one was injured. Several rounds struck a detective's unmarked vehicle.
The suspect, immediately after firing at the detectives, surrendered and was taken into custody. No detectives returned fire.
LMPD says any felony investigation that involves taking a wanted person into custody is always a challenging and risky operation that they are prepared for.
Unfortunately, this suspect chose violence, and that's tragic. And you know, at the end of the day, luckily, nobody was killed.
Both brothers were arrested. This is just one of the 3 shootings in broad daylight. Just this morning after 9 o'clock, another shooting on South 4th Street, where a man was rendered aid for gunshot wounds until EMS arrived. And then at 1 o'clock, the violence turned deadly. A man shot and killed on Pyramid Road. Community members say the violence needs to stop.
I feel like there is so much senseless violence happening, especially in broad daylight. And it just riddles my anxiety, and it makes me stress about the rest of my chosen family and my family and my community.
Some say the guns need to be put down.
It's just a different world that we're living in nowadays, and I think just when you're out in the public in general nowadays, I think you just need to be ready for those kind of occurrences to happen.
Eden Jade Otis feels it is tiring hearing about shootings, especially those that are taking people's lives.
I know for the rest of us that aren't the ones committing the violence, it's exhaustive to go to funeral after funeral after funeral, hear about hardship after hardship in every aspect of our community.
However, some say there is something the community can do to stop the violence.
I just think we all just need to help each other more and just love each other.
Until then, community members are hoping for a quick solution to end the gun violence. In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS11 night team on your side.
Police are still looking for suspects in 2 of those shootings. If you have any information about the shootings, you're encouraged to call the anonymous police tip line 574 LMPD. A man will now spend 15 years behind bars for a 2020 murder. Malik Jenkins pleaded guilty to manslaughter, wanton endangerment, and assault. Jenkins admitted in November of 2020 he and a group of others were at Boone's gas station in Portland when they began to fight with Rocky Siebert. The group assaulted Siebert and then later shot him at a different location. Jenkins was sentenced to 15 years total in prison and will not be eligible for parole until he served at least 12 years of the sentence. And new tonight, the city has gotten approval to let the EPA inside the Highview home filled with toxic chemicals. The city has said the best way to dispose of the house on Applegate Lane is a controlled burn. But Mayor Craig Greenberg walked back that statement last week, saying the EPA needs to evaluate the next steps. The city says the EPA will be assessing the home early next week. A man is dead after a car crash on St. Andrew Church Road this afternoon. LMPD says they responded to this crash just before 12:30. Police say a woman was driving an SUV heading south when she crossed the center line and crashed head-on into a minivan heading towards Iroquois Park. The driver of the SUV and a passenger in the minivan were taken to University Hospital in serious condition. The driver of the minivan was transported to Marian Elizabeth Hospital, where he later died of his injuries.
My family has suffered a great deal from me having this job. I think that is really an unbelievable question from you. I'm answering the question. And yes, did I drive my daughter to college? I don't know who else would do that. I drove my daughter to college while I worked the entire time.
JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio expressing some frustration today while providing updates on the bus disaster from the first day of school. A worn-down Polio taking on much of the blame for the breakdown. Dr. Polio revealed today kids likely won't return to the classroom Monday or Tuesday. They're instead aiming for a midweek reopening. In the meantime, he says his team is working through the weekend to make those changes, most notably to reduce the number of bus routes each driver must handle. On Wednesday, some having to go across county in a short period of time.
You know, a problem is, without a doubt, is we've had to add thousands of additional stops from where we were a month ago when the routes came out. And so every time you do that, you add a stop somewhere along the way, which increases time. But we have to have stops for all kids.
The school district tells us they're asking the board to approve these missed days as snow days so they won't have to be made up later. Polio is promising parents will have a decision about a return to school by tomorrow at the latest. JCPS parents are in limbo right now. They're unsure, of course, when their kids will return to school. Travis Breeze spoke to one of the many parents who experienced some bus issues on Wednesday, telling us today her bus stop request form has been denied.
While JCPS says it is evaluating all routes and stops for efficiency, one mom told me she does not feel that it's really been a good faith effort. She's also considering some new ways to keep track of her 6-year-old son. The bus stops were empty Friday in Jefferson County. Students had the day off to entertain themselves. Mom Brittany Becerra submitted a bus stop request form before the first day of school, asking if her son's stop could be moved 0.2 miles closer to her house to where it was last year. They went to that stop on the first day of school, and he was the only student, and no bus came. Her request for a new stop is on the bus's route, and she's convinced he's the only student who uses it. But still, JCPS said no.
I got a call from the principal today who said the board who approves moving the stops declined it. And I explained to her, you know, he's the only kid and they drive right past his old stop. And she said they had declined it, but she would let them know that I disagreed with the decision.
They're supposed to be reviewing all stops for efficiency. It doesn't feel like they're doing that to you?
No. Not at all.
The district sent us a statement saying the committee will be reviewing requests for bus stop location changes with a priority on those students who do not have an assigned bus stop or there is an obvious safety concern. If taking the bus becomes realistic for them, she says she is considering getting her son a cell phone so she doesn't lose track of him, but that's not a step she ever planned on taking.
He's 6. I really need to buy him a phone so I can track him.
When I asked some of these families if they felt comfortable putting their kids on a bus next week, they said, first of all, we have to be sure that we can get on a bus. In Louisville, Travis Breeze, WHAS11 on your side.
JCPS has increased the number of people at the bus call center. They have 80 people taking those calls. The number is 502-485-RIDE. 485-7433. The hotline is open until 7 o'clock tomorrow. A former Moore High School basketball coach is suing the JCPS Board of Education for wrongful termination. Richard Gatewood was fired after being charged with assault in February, but a grand jury did not find enough evidence to indict him. In the lawsuit, Gatewood said he was breaking up a fight between his sons at the Moore High gym. He says he did not hit his son, but did have to grab him to bring the situation under control. Because of the charges, he was fired from his position as the boys' head basketball coach. Now, Gatewood is suing the district for monetary damages, saying he was in the right. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear announced the state was pushing closer to its goal of assigning law enforcement officers to every school campus. During his Team Kentucky update yesterday, Beshear offered a preview of the annual report from the State School Security Marshal's office. The report shows a 33% increase in schools this year with a full-time school resource officer on campus. The governor said he expects the number to continue to climb.
Kentucky is a leader in school safety. I travel the country talking about what we do here in the state, and there's a lot of states out there that are chasing us and asking us what we're doing and how we're doing it. It's very important to me to get that out, that we are a leader in school safety.
The governor said the new report shows a total of 685 school resource officers are employed in Kentucky. He says it's the most in the state's history. And the number of Kentucky State Troopers also increasing today. 51 cadets graduating from the agency's training academy. Cadet Class 103 graduates increase the number of KSP troopers to approximately 940. It's the highest number of troopers the agency has employed since 2006. Are you guys ready to win some cakes and some Little Debbie's? St. Joe's Picnic for the Kids kicked off tonight. It's the 174th year St. Joe's Children's Home is raising money for the kids in their care. And the picnic always draws a massive crowd. About 50,000 people attend annually. The festivities tonight wrapped up just about an hour ago, and tonight was the first chance for people to have some fun with the carnival games, the casino games, some prizes, some beer, food stalls, you know, all the good stuff. Tomorrow it starts at noon and it goes until midnight. Attending is free, but make sure you bring that loose change if you want to try and win some of those prizes.